lemon, it must be the pimp in me. Ice cold snow globe, my skin cinnamon, my type is limited. Chapo got it, I can give the gab off in my pocket. Shake her milk and cookies, call her looking, almost stuff her stocking on the lake. Breathe candy, paint like candy cane and bag. Beans, Rudolph, no, got nothing on the sled. Plenty cold, plenty sand for jackers trying to jack left on the tree. That's where you be for acting bad.
I'm in the year off on the podcast. All this, it's been last week. It's been a lot of wonderful ways to end the year. That's what we need.
I didn't even see this coming. He just said, hey
guys.
He didn't hit nobody up. He didn't hit the group chat and let us know.
He didn't let us know.
He just was like...
It's not cool that you didn't tell us beforehand, but it's a pleasant surprise. We appreciate it.
He just was like, Christmas, boom. And, I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Is that off? Maybe?
It's off. You just got to let it.
Oh, I got to let it just die.
It'll just...
Shit. You usually got to let the car warm. We got to let the motherfucker cool down.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I just started up, goddammit. Now I'll fuck around and pull something.
Let me come down to a nice jog. Come down to this jog and be good to go. Hi, everybody.
Happy holidays and
happy Pagan's Eve, everybody.
Just shut on it early. Just
happy Pagan's Eve.
Sock that nigga right there.
That's right. Poof, poof. Let's all get ready to
jump him.
We're getting ready to celebrate the pagan holiday that was created to get rid of pagan holidays.
It really, just.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. You don't have to appreciate you listening to us, but just saying before we get into it, it's like there's a 3-minute. I found a 3-minute video on YouTube. It was like boom, boom, boom. It was just like, hey,
let's get straight to the shits.
It was like, hey, we got Yule. Word to the Norse people had their little winter solstice shit. It was lit. Then it was like, oh, hey, Romans, they're like Saturnalia's fire. Let's, fuck and drink because you got to do both.
Drink and be merry.
Yep. And then it was like, oh shit, this Christianity shit's popping. You guys are not really giving up these pagan things. Fuck it, bro. Let's just integrate them. They sampled it. Like, you know what? Like, Christianity pulled a Drake.
A little bit here.
Christianity's like pulled a real Drake. Like, I'm gonna just take a little bit of this, a little bit of accents. Like, you got a little bit of Jamaican Drake. You get a little bit of British Drake. Get a little singing Drake.
I'd say they more so pulled a Puffy.
Ooh.
I mean, that's the old school sample man right there. I'm gonna take this sample and I'm gonna recreate it to the point where you don't even know where it came from.
That's fire.
And I'm not even changing it much. I'm using the exact same thing, but it's a whole new song that's going to be so big that you don't even realize that this is not my original creation.
This shit is, So, you guys enjoy. I'm not taking away from because I enjoy. You can enjoy it for what it is, but you could also know what it is too. Like I like
big butts and I cannot lie.
I do. I like those too. But you can enjoy a fat ass and know that she just got
it's not real.
She got a nice BBL.
Right.
I'm like I enjoy that she went and got that work done, but. I'm an ass man. I enjoy that, right. She went and got that thing.
This looks wonderful. How many cc's is that? Like, I'm acknowledging the fact that it's not real. Please don't try to lie to me and tell me that it is. That's the issue with a lot of this. Don't lie to me and tell me that it's real.
And I just, and I don't think it doesn't take away a connection to Jesus or whoever to go, there's a lot of weirdness on this. There's a lot of shit that just doesn't add up. And shit that might make you closer. Shit, right. You up here fucking around, you do some fucking around and realize that they say other researchers, there's a theory out there that's really running that there wouldn't even been shepherds wouldn't have been out like during winter and all this other stuff to bring it back to Christianity because that's where the hot shit is, folks. And Jesus would have been born. They put anywhere from like July to October, so Jesus is Virgo, y'all, and I'm just, it's what I'm saying, like we could, I got Beyonce, Michael Jackson, and Jesus. I got a fire ass lineup.
It's quite a bit of people in this Libra game. We're not going to go to that list.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of people, and they've all contributed quite wonderful things of balance.
I think I got Tom Hanks, which is a random pull, but I'll take it.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it's like in Forrest Gump. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that to say, like, probably get around to just, like, shitting on dreams. But I'm just saying, research doesn't hurt. To just, what is this?
Go down the rabbit hole. These days, going down the rabbit hole takes you all of 5-10 minutes. To really find some information I'll say 5-10 minutes, maybe another 10-15 to watch or read whatever you come up to.
That Christmas happened in like I just heard that information like on the drive here. Like Christmas happens on like in 4 BC. They just was like, you know what, this is good.
It's the denial that makes me angry sometimes, though. Like, not to be completely Grinch, even though I love the Grinch. Or Krampus. Merry Krampus. How about that?
Even Krampus makes a point. Some of you motherfuckers, like, you need both sides, bro.
You need both sides, but Jesus is the reason for the season. Yet, even during a pandemic where a lot of people aren't working, we're still spending dumbass amounts of money.
Today.
No, we're not thinking about family more. We're thinking about figuring out how to make sure we get these gifts for these kids.
Literally today, in the middle of a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic.
The numbers is soaring. It's fucking vaccine craze every other day. Motherfuckers got all types of ailments and shit. The fucking the black doctor woman that's been going viral, like just like
they killed me.
Yeah, rest in peace to rest in peace to her. Like, they like, and I drove past a mall, fucking full. Like, this is where you start have some of those like, hey man, like when people want to say like, bro, I square up with Newsom. It's like, you know what? I can't even get mad at y'all no more. Like, I'm not a fan of how y'all have been conducting yourselves over toilet tissue and just completely not listening. But you make the case for motherfuckers who like are these like super right wing. We're not fucking closing down. Because nigga, the mall is like it's
packed,
it's
and this is L.A. and it's not just one mall.
All
of them packed again during a pandemic. So the irony of it all is we all look $600 stimulus. I can't believe they trying to give us. How we gonna live off that? But you're still shopping your ass off for Krampus.
In a mall.
It doesn't add up.
Like even that is just like and. You see the posts and understanding that this might not be everybody's perspective. This might be a small microcosm or whatever, but I see him, so it looks like a lot more than whatever. But it's like, you're not obligated. Like, fucking be fucking stop being so hard on yourselves, nigga. Niggas is broke.
Right.
You don't got no jobs. Like the fact that y'all like have a roof to like that shit. Motherfucker said like when you pray about it and you really just. This where you should really kind of wave through, like, who really fucking with you. Like, if you got them all you could, and they're like, ugh, your kids are shit. Now you know your kids are shitty because you raised them shitty. Because if your kid looks at you like, I'm a 5. Nigga,
what?
We almost didn't have food last week, pussy. Like, what?
Look, I got 5 for you.
Yeah, like, what?
Got 5 across your lips.
Exactly.
That's what you gonna get. I blame people because humans are stupid, and it's our fault.
Yeah.
And we don't live the way that we expect to be treated. Like our expectations of others' treatment of us is way higher than our expectation of our moral values that we proceed to put on the world. You're not raising your kids to be humble, so that's why you're putting the pressure on yourself to go out and buy these presents, even though Jesus is the reason for the season, technically, and it's supposed to be all about family. It's supposed to be about family and togetherness, but you're also going to be putting older people at risk because you want to exchange said gifts at whatever holiday session. It's like none of it, like we're so contradictory that we don't even realize that we're shooting ourselves in the foot and getting mad at other people for selling us the gun.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no. How dare you? How dare you sell me this gun? Let me shoot myself in the foot. It's you pulled the trigger.
It is your fucking fault.
I gave you a license to carry. I didn't say shoot yourself. I did not.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running out here to get all the COVID tests in the world or figure out how to get the vaccine that is continuously making people extremely sick.
Yeah, it's just like all of this, like that has just been an ongoing conversation. It's like, okay, I'm not even trying to be like an anti-vax person, but just, like it was that video that went around Jamaica. I think it was on D.L. Hughley's page. It was just Jamaica pretty much said,
you take it first.
Y'all go first. And then, when y'all stop motherfucking,
right,
hitting it, then, you can come and we could talk about it. But yeah, it's just like, shit, even that, like, that's not bad information, motherfuckers. Like, it takes a long time for these, like, vaccines to work. Like, yes, it's great. We don't have polio and shit because of that. That's awesome. Also, the motherfuckers took their time to get the shit done so we don't have polio. They didn't just say, fuck, It should be pretty good. It should be pretty good. You just knock it out.
We don't have polio anymore, but years later we do have forms of cancer that are tied to the vaccine for polio. So
there you go. Well, yeah, it's bullshit left and right. Because what's that shit? What's that shit Rock said on his show? He's like, on his stand up, it's like, the money's not in the cure, nigga. The money's in the medicine. Like,
right. It's treatment.
I don't want you to die now.
Right.
But I want you, I want you to need me to live.
I want you to be around long enough to where you can still go to work, because I need you to help bring me more money. I have all the cures that I need. You may not. And the insurance that I give you through this job that you work for me is probably not going to cover everything you need as you're slowly dying. And I'm not going to give you your full pension either. But I need you to come to work and be healthy enough to do so.
Just enough to be like, I almost had that
motherfucker. You got 2 more years to retire? You're fired.
Stretch out. You can get it jump a little higher.
Just a little bit. You got to be a little bit quicker.
That shit.
No. None of this makes sense. But going back to shitting on Christ Mass, that's the same mindset that we bring when it comes to the holidays, and that's what kind of irritates me. Like, it's not a matter of people being not in the holiday spirit. Mm-hmm. Because one thing I do like about holidays, although most of them in this country are built in fallacy and bullshit, at least it puts people in a certain mindset to say, you know what, let me think of somebody other than myself, or let me appreciate this thing that I should be appreciating more often. That's the mindset that we should have all year. We shouldn't wait until this holiday season of Thanksgiving and Christmas to give to the less fortunate, or try to help our people in our communities, or do things of that nature. These are things that we should do year round, because we all rely on each other. Mm-hmm. We all live with and off of each other. We all need each other to survive. I don't care how self-made, got it out the mud. You need other people to help you to survive. So we shouldn't wait until the last 3-4 months of the year to start giving to other people.
That is such a weird, it's not weird. I know certain people, you created those ideas, you created those spaces, but when you listen to all these niggas' stories, and they'll say, Nick, I had mad help. Like somebody opened the door for me so I could get in that day and rap to this nigga, or whatever the fuck your thing is. It's like, you had and that kind of goes into this shit that fucking Banner talked about on his page the other day. It was like, if you got to be in a space of gratitude, my G. You super got it out the mud, but that's how you niggas be ended up just mad negative, because it's like,
right,
your whole mindset is nobody helped me, blah 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 blah, and then not to say that just automatically makes a motherfucker walk up and sock you in the head, but you are attracting negative experiences, as opposed to, it did suck, but I had a good day. I did get to rap about that motherfucker. That song didn't clear, but this song is going up, and also I got up in a fucking $80 million home today. I don't fucking know. He just was like, if you're in a gratitude space, for every bad thing, on the flip side, there's something good that came out of it.
Right. And when you practice that gratitude and you look at the positive sides of the negative things that you've been through, it helps to keep you humble. So you're not running around like fucking Cardi B, who has 18 Christmas trees in her living room for no fucking reason. You understand, this doesn't matter. It's so pretty. Bill high as shit. But it's so pretty because I never thought I was going to live in this house, which is great. You've manifested whatever dreams you desired. That's wonderful. But now you're being wasteful. And that's a mindset that we, as an American society, for sure, we're contradictory. We lack accountability, and we're wasteful as shit.
Oh, yeah, super duper.
It's not helpful to anybody. So that normally ends up being one of my main pet peeves when it comes to holidays, because we spend so much time being fake virtuous. I care about other people. I care about these things. I care about this. I care about that. We treat it just like we treat, let's say, Christianity. You on fire for God on Sunday, maybe a little bit on Monday. Come Tuesday, fuck these people in this job, and you got tirade all throughout the week. You in a bad negative space. You're talking about all types of frustration and negativity. You don't care about anybody else except for yourself and whoever else is in your house, and you barely care about the motherfuckers in your house until Sunday come back around, and you trying to wear off that hangover that you had from kicking it on Saturday. And now you're like, God, if you please, just let me make it. We wait until a certain period. We go through this continuous cycle of being selfish. And it's not until we are in the eyes, at least in our mind, we're sitting in front of whatever higher power you choose to believe in. For Americans, it's Jesus on Sunday.
And that's only doing it so you don't get punished, but you're not just doing it.
As if he don't see you Monday through Saturday. God, please, but you've had all week.
He know my heart.
He know your heart. He knew your heart before you asked. So what are you asking for?
Yeah, like, you don't think he knew your heart when you walked in here and saw you doing backflips, knowing good motherfucking way?
Like, now you know when you, right.
You just cheated a motherfucker out of A, B, and C and some swindle shit, or you are actively breaking your bond or whatever with your spouse. Or
right.
You're doing a whole bunch of shady shit, but he know your heart. Because you just, man, I'm sorry.
He know my heart. Well, every politician, when they're running for something, they find a way to set foot into a black church and appease to the black community, knowing damn well you done did shady shit all your career, but now I need y'all to help me. So let me go ahead and set foot in the church. We treat the same mindset that we put towards our behavior for holidays. We do this in everything. That ends up being my main pet peeve. Be this way throughout the entire year, and you wouldn't have to worry about the discomfort of thinking that whatever holiday you're choosing to participate in or believe in is a lie, especially for most black people. Because most black people are like, I don't really celebrate. I know these holidays is rooted in this, that, and the other, blah, 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 but I'm celebrating family. So you waited for today to do that? You've been beefing with your sister or your brother all year, but because it's the holiday and it make mama happy, let's go on and squash this beef.
Which is really, like, super phony. Like,
it's phony. Like I said, we're being fake virtuous in the name of trying to celebrate a holiday that isn't even a real holiday.
It just, when you talked about, like, the Jesus thing and, like, all these motherfuckers, made me think of the nigga who got mad at the lady about the plane. And, like, every time I see him, how do y'all not look? I don't know. I don't subscribe to Kenneth Copeland, but that nigga looks possessed. like, just, there's demons among us. And I'm like, bro, like, that nigga, like, you know, Tyler sold me that plane. Like, I don't know. It just, that made me, I had to, like, figure out who the fuck he was. And yeah, like, y'all go Google him. Look at his face. Like,
he'll when it's edited and you can go back and watch this again on YouTube, he'll put the face up there so you can see it.
Yeah, he looked like he looked. And then, like, he do, like, the Jesus shit. And it sounds like every movie version of, like, you're going to hell. And, like, but that particular, like, pastor or whatever, or priest in the movie is, like, evil as fuck. Like, he gives you those vibes. Like,
most of the pastors that are in charge of mega churches, like some of the best preachers that do the most good for their community aren't in charge of these mega churches.
You remember? I mean, everybody talked about that show, and they snipped that shit off.
They took that off. They barely one season. They pulled the
yeah, like, you finna, wait a minute, y'all finna. Really
but before y'all find some shit on TD Jakes, let's pull this off T, because I'll be goddamn.
Really fucking up the church's money, like.
Not my pastor. Not my pastor.
Yeah, it just, I'm like,
yes,
on,
your
like,
pastor.
Not even trying to.
He's human, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, not even trying to be shitty on, like, just shitting on the religion. It's just like, come on, man, like, logistically, this is like a, you know, like, it's supposed to be a service position. And, like, I look at social workers, I look at therapists, I look at fucking, you know, just
broke.
Yeah, like, you have to be a wild therapist to get, like, mad money, but it's not a very, like, oh, you're finna make $500,000 a session. Like, that's not it. But I was like, this is not a, like, y'all motherfuckers be going to them for, like, mental health. That's not a mental health professional. Like, that's just somebody who read this book real good, and you're taking their perspective, because you don't even know if what, like.
Did you interpret this the way that God said that you should interpret this? Did God come tell you? God spoke to me, every pastor, every Sunday. God spoke to me and told me to give y'all this sermon.
Shit, me too. We read the same book, bro. You gonna tell me the same stuff? Like,
I hear the same talkings in my mind. I don't say that it's Jesus that gave me that, but that's who you are paying attention to. That's who you give your energy to. That's who you hold at a high regard. So you're going to perceive that is who you're hearing. Most of us, when we hear this voice in our mind, positive or negative, we think that it's us talking to this voice. If you're somebody that's claiming to be an evangelist or a preacher or a bishop or whatever, you're going to say that it's God giving you a revelation. Whatever your perspective is, you're going to think that that's where it's coming from, as opposed to realizing that sometimes your brain is just running, or sometimes some things are just whatever higher power, whatever you want to call it, is aligning things to be in a particular way because you're going to service other people.
That part, like, I think sometimes it's that it's like, it's not as mythical as it is, not taking away the power of God, but it's like, yeah, I mean, technically that's my voice. Like, okay, like technically we're right now listening or dealing through the powers and the amazing works of Apple, but Apple's not here fucking doing all the Apple said, I gave you the tools, my nigga.
Right.
And we put the tutorials up online to teach you how to use it, and God's like, I gave you the brain. Like, I made that model of brain and heart, and I gave it, like, cool. But am I really jumping down? Like, no, man, I literally, or even taking the actual, we all have the Holy Ghost within us. So literally, I got it, bro. I'm not arrogant. I just believe in my attunement to God.
Yes.
So, because in this building, y'all be doing a lot of weird shit in this building. Like, even when I was like going to church super heavy, even then I was like, I feel like I tap in better when I'm just like, before I go to bed, and like, I'm like,
I can isolate all the noise.
yeah.
And I can center myself and focus on this connection with the higher power specifically for me as an individual, as opposed to getting a diluted, concentrated version of somebody else's perspective that's telling me what is fact, which may not necessarily be 100% fact.
Because then it wouldn't even just be that. Like, it's also just if you are, everybody now is in the vibe, so we all cut the feeling and energy being. And, you can, if you are, that's a whole nother thing that we are able to kind of feel the vibrations of other people.
Right.
So, I remember me and my sister one time went, and we were sitting there in church. I went to go visit my dad's church this time, and, like, I watched this lady walk in, like, she was super chill, like, barely even, like, paying attention, whatever. The music came on. She, like, it was some fire shit. It was turned, looked like she had been practicing. Soon as music went off, it was just, like, chewing gum and bullshit, and I was like, how the fuck what?
Fake virtuous.
I'm like, you didn't have an out-of-body experience, nigga. That you and them niggas who be outside listening to YG, y'all not. That's the same shit.
I guarantee you,
that's just your song.
Everybody for the Christian faith, whatever denomination you believe, for Black Christians, whatever your church is, because everybody is different. But whatever your belief is within the Black Christian American church, I guarantee you, everybody that goes on a regular basis knows at least one person that is going to catch the Holy Ghost every Sunday. Everybody in church knows that one person that is going to every Sunday. And even when I was heavy in the church, I used to I know the 2 or 3 people I can count on every week.
They finna do it.
I know when it's going to happen. And to me, it would be like, this feels so ingenuine. Because when I had a moment where I felt like God sent a message to me to speak through this person to deliver it to me, I just sat there somber, and I received the message, and I listened, and I cried to myself, and I interpreted it the way that I felt I needed to interpret it for that day to help me through my situation. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to dance. Now, granted, I'm introverted more times than not, so I can't knock people. Some people just really are that expressive.
But you can, once again, I feel like not everybody, we don't know everything, but you can tell sometimes. I believe that it's like, okay, this person is really having an experience. She's going through it. She's really crying. She's really breaking down, or he's breaking down. They really have had this moment. But it'd be them by themselves. It'd be the ones that just get turned because I just feel like this is your day. Sunday's your shit. Like, you might be, I can't go to the club because that's bad. But Sunday is where I get my shit off. And then, also those who just kind of be like, like come on, bro, every Sunday you got to testify. I got
to make sure I hype up the pastor, make him feel good. So
every Sunday
I'm the cheer squad in the corner.
We all go through something, but every Sunday it's, the grocery bag bust today. It was early before I came here, but I was able to scoop them up with each hand. And like, come on, Mo. Like, come on,
thank God I had a healthy enough back to bend over and pick up all the things that I dropped through. Like, is that really? That's, to me, that goes back to my point of us being, you're hot on this one period and point in time, but you're not really in tune. You're not really aligned. You're not really understanding. You're not really aware, because you lose sight of how to hold on to this ability for 6 days, maybe 5 out of that 7. But for this day, you for sure, I'm in a lie. I am on. No, you're not, because you're paying attention to this other thing telling you as opposed to getting connected to yourself.
Yeah, even that's a big thing of like, you know, I feel like there are just certain ways like that it is, you know, like when we talk about the religious conversations before, spirituality conversations, whatever, that you would have to, you know, think about it as if I was on like a fucking desert island or some shit and I like had no access, would I like be devoid of God, or would I is the cheat code that I go within self,
right?
Because like if it only exists in this building, well shit nigga, like I'm fucked if like the plane go down and I'm out here like Tom Hanks or some shit, or
right.
Shit, what if I got a job in a country that's really not super Christian? What the fuck I'm gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like we just be tied to these weird, I'm like, you maybe just a little expanse, like you said, like a little thought outside the box might
just
help.
A little bit, just a little one.
And not to shit on that point about like the bag thing. Like I'm talking more about people being like just overtly gratuitous and looking for attention, because I know I just said previously, like, you know, be in the space of gratitude. So if it's genuine and maybe you just are in a pitch that I don't like, I take that into account. Like maybe some of y'all are just a little more extra than I would be, but you know, you've seen people who was like, oh, you just, you know, church people talk about it. There's church folk in there and they just
it's good Christian church folk.
Yeah, they talking and taking up space and wanting attention, and you've now turned this into like a, you know, a me space, and it's supposed to be a space of God. Nigga, you supposed to be sitting there and shutting the fuck up and all types of shit.
You are supposed to receive the word. Then you go and do your own due diligence in your research later on. Then you have to, it's not, when you go to work, you don't just go to work for one day out the week, right? You don't get a full-time check for working one day.
I wish.
It would be lovely. Sooner than later, you know, we'll speak that into existence for us. We'll be able to work 2 days out the week and get paid a full salary for that.
Unless you do like the morning shit sidebar, I watched this fucking like little interview. I think I like did the Cardinal Sin, like a Vlad interview popped up, but it was Ed Lover, and nigga Ed was like, bro, he's like, I was making like $800,000 a year, like just doing radio. I was like, so yeah, I'm speaking that.
I'll speak that. I don't even need that much.
I don't, but I'm gonna speak.
I really don't, because even if I got $800,000 a year, I definitely would give $100,000 of that a year away.
Yeah, like I know what I'm living off now. 800,000 is like, oh yeah,
I'm creating all types of benefits all throughout the year,
and I'm not even gonna fucking mention Howard Stern. Like,
I don't. That's fuck you money.
I don't even like fuck you money is. Like, if you got $30 million, I would consider myself, I'm in a fuck you money zone. Like, Howard shit is like, and this is still we're just radio. Like, just assuming that Howard is a complete idiot and said, I'm not going to parlay my shit into any businesses or any stocks or anything like that. I'm just going to do, like, we're not even taking into account anything else that motherfucker would have, man. Whew.
Yeah, it's California dreaming over here. But back to the point. You don't get paid for 7 days worth of work for one day. When it comes to our spiritual practices, well, our religious practices, because being spiritual is not being godly, apparently, for a lot of people. But with your religious practice, when it comes to that, you practice it for one day. You're supposed to continue to do the work throughout the week. So what does that mean? Reading whatever word you believe in. Processing it for yourself. Doing your own research, not just on the word, but on other things to figure out how it applies to then, now, and later on.
Motherfuckers don't read the book, period, let alone.
Have had a Bible on the dash. Forever. Ain't cracked.
But see, I would say that goes into
damn.
What I guess, you know, conditioning is my favorite word, but, you know, kind of that of it, like, that's not a religion, you know, that promotes like real. Hey man, go out and research and do growth, because research requires that you know, it's a contradictory. Research requires that, you know, you do the work, you read the word and get in this word, but that requires that you read it and you develop an opinion and you start to kind of, you know, dance with the ideas in it. But if the underlying backbone of it is don't question this shit, well, it's like we can only grow so much, because it's not questioning it to dismantle it, it's questioning it to grow deeper in it. Well, it'd be like, hey, well, I realize that while I agree with the spiritual overtones of this in here, we should take into account of, well, who gave us this, or what iterations did this go through? Why have I never taken a trip? Shit, if Muslims go to Mecca, then if I'm a Christian, why wouldn't I take my ass to Ethiopia once and try to really figure it out?
Because that's not where it happened. You'd have to go to Jerusalem.
They don't go there.
I'm going to Jerusalem to learn more about Jesus. It started in Ethiopia, buddy. Sorry to tell you, but Ethiopia. But hey, you didn't do your research enough to figure that out. That's on you. Go ahead and go to Jerusalem.
Like it's kind of, the idea of, are you trying to get close to God, which is the best, whatever word you use, but are you trying to get close to God, or are you trying to get good in this book? Because that's not the same. Because if your quest is God, you read this book and you read it as a spiritual book, you read it from a historical space, and then you start to go, what iterations did this book go to? And you let it take you where it takes you, because your goal is to get to God.
Yeah. See, here's why it's not that. Here's why I know you're not trying to get to God. Two things. One thing, because you allow the holiday like Krampus today, Krampus Eve, Pagan Eve, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
These goddamn kids.
Whatever holiday is supposed to celebrate God, one, it's not accurate, and two, you're letting it get convoluted by all these other things that have nothing to do with the actual celebration for the day. That's how I know you're not trying to get closer to God, because you've let the holiday get hijacked by a material motive. Two. 3-minute video.
I promise you, it's like 3
It
minutes.
doesn't take long. But two, you know how else I know that you're not trying to get closer to God? Because like you said earlier, it's an issue when you challenge or question this thing that is supposed to represent God. But we also say that we are made in God's image and we have God's power within us. So if you're not challenging that, you're not challenging yourself either. So I don't want to learn this thing, just like we don't want to learn ourselves. We ignore ourselves. We ignore the power that the higher powers have bestowed upon us from birth. We're constantly asking for things that we were already given the second we took our first breath of fresh air, or air in general here in California, because we don't know what fresh air is.
Breath of that exalt.
Right. I am made in this image. I believe that I am made in this image, but I'm not spending time getting in touch with what this is. Who am I? Are you asking yourself that? Oh, I'm a CEO. I own a company. No, I didn't say what do you have. Who are you? You're not learning that, which means you're not even really learning it for your religious practice either. You're just regurgitating whatever you're told.
A lot. And clearly this turned into a religious conversation, but it ties in with Christmas, so you motherfuckers gonna get all this. But like I've said before, like, religion is such a thing because it is like the bedrock for which we build all our other aspects. Like, motherfuckers' relationship values come from Christianity, or Islam, or if you're a Hindu or whatever you are,
whatever your religion
how you
is.
attack business, how you attack rearing your children, your entire identity is built upon this here. And it's like, you motherfuckers can know the insides and outs of accounting, of Instagram, of fucking psychology, shit, throw us in the bed and just shit on all over us as well. But you didn't think let's investigate this thing which I build my very fucking identity upon. Like, I don't give a shit what I might not. Motherfuckers wasn't watching Harry Potter because it was demonic, or you could play Pokemon but had to start to separate your values with a kid's game. So if you're acknowledging. And that's also where, like, this shit is fake and phony, but you acknowledge that there's power and all these other things. So you're already telling that there are other aspects in here. You didn't read the book also because there's aspects of all these things that you called devilish, but they're in the book. But you didn't read. One, some of y'all that just read the book maybe literally. I give y'all 2 more cents because these motherfuckers who didn't read the book, period, and are just taking all. Wait, did you read that part? Do you know what that?
Not only did you read it, but did you actually comprehend what you were reading? Because comprehension is important. Written word is a form of communication. A lot of us can't have a conversation with one another and communicate effectively. So that doesn't mean that you can read these words that are written in old English text
like,
and interpret that properly. Come on now.
Yeah, let's take it into perspective of, even if you don't, fuck it. If you're not going to say King James, which, an old white dude in fucking whatever.
White privilege affected your religion.
Yeah, you could just go, oh, I can understand why this was said this way. This might not even be the word of or the original word of God who wrote it.
It's not.
Or if it's from, even if it's from then, like, historically, there's tons of evidence of how society worked. And how would you apply? You can apply this allegorically. You could apply it as a principle.
Nah, we don't apply
I
that.
forget that. I forget the dude's name. I mean, there's Dr. Ben Yuckinen, like he spits hot fire, but I'll remember his name fucking later on and maybe say it again. But there's this.
Put it in the YouTube video later.
Yeah, there's a black he's a professor and was a Christian. He was a whole pastor, and like he just has like a really good breakdown when it gets to religion. He just was like, bro, it's like if you look at it even allegorically, like it's supposed to, like a lot of things, it's supposed to give you ways to live life, but this is the only thing the motherfuckers go through life with. This is literally it. This is literal historical fact, and it's like that's making things hard.
We don't care about history. We don't even look into history. People don't pay attention to history in class, in high school, or any time before that. We're not getting told the proper history. We don't seek history or the knowledge of it after we finish whatever educational practice we've decided to go into. History is not important to us, especially for us within the black community, because it's all his story and they're going to give us the fake version of it anyway. So then research it for yourself, and then you'll figure out just how much history is repeating itself. Because you know what's a part of history? Hey, you guys believe in this? Great. I'm in control now. So you're believing in this because I said so. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the version of this to believe that I want you to have. I'm not even giving you the full aspect of it.
And make sure that yours is shit. Make sure that whatever you came here with is dog shit. It's not as good as mine.
It's the hate.
Stop it.
I'm going to make sure that you hate whatever your root religion or belief or practice was. Not only that, I'm going to make sure that if you aren't talking blasphemy about these other practices, that I'm going to have you killed or jailed or whatever the case is. And what do we have today? Every practice in this country looks at other practices as nonsense. Oh, you believe that? You not Christian? Oh, you're not this, you're not that. Sir, if you believe that God created all, and here's my 2 cents for this.
Yes.
God created everything. But God said to believe in this one way to believe in life, this one way to pay attention to life. God said pay attention to that. I created all things, even created the people that created other ways to interpret this world and this life. But I want you to shit on them because they're wrong and they're going to spend eternal damnation in hell because they don't believe this one particular way. I created all things. Why don't you accept that they all have something positive to give you? Why don't you accept the fact that they're all just an interpretation because we don't know shit and we're all trying to figure it out?
Omnism, which is like...
Oh, wait. Being omnipotent?
Back up. First of all, I found his name, folks. Name is Dr. Ray Hagins. Hagins. So if you just want to go and have a little bit of, go listen to him. I think he presents shit well. So, got a cool whatever. But I think it's like everybody finds a new fucking word. But basically all it is the idea that I think it's almost mildly like gives you like agnostic vibes. It's just that every religion has something right.
Right.
But because we're assholes, nobody goes, let me take your puzzle piece and put it together. And we figured out it's like my puzzle piece is the puzzle, is what everybody else does. Which just make a lot of sense. Just from the simple fact of one of my favorite just concepts is like we boil God down to something that we can comprehend instead of giving God the magnitude that this is something beyond our belief. So you think if it's the favorite line is to use this shit when it applies, like, well, why would that mysterious ways is beyond our comprehension? But you said everything that is in this book here. There's fucking a ton of books that have more pages than this. So you mean to tell me that there's more to do with Frodo than God? So you wouldn't say that in here is a good idea, a good start point, a good addition to, but you're going to say this is, so you don't think that we're kind of boiling this into this?
The encyclopedia that has damn near information on everything has multiple volumes. Like you can have a whole bookshelf full of just encyclopedia volumes alone for all types of information that has been presented in this lifetime, in this world, and the history or existence of keeping history. But this one book, there's no other expansion of this idea. There's no other interpretation of these ideas. This one thing.
Yeah, because I understand systemically, like the big man machine. I understand why they push it. but they know the truth.
Right.
But I'm always talking to individuals, especially us, because it's like, okay, if you can do, I'm going to keep mentioning this 3-minute video because you guys are going to go find it. But you can look at this 3-minute video and you can go, okay, Christmas. And literally in a couple minutes can backtrack to, oh, Saturnalia, the Roman, festival. You can backtrack to winter solstice. You go back to like, Norse I think it was like a Norse thing, then a Nordic thing, Yule, and you get why the tree is important because that was something. You get why all of these, like, how even Saint Nicholas was an actual saint or dude who died. They made a legend about him. Some dude drew him.
Who gave a present one time. And you guys turned him into jolly old Saint Nick that gives presents. I did something nice one time, and you guys turned me into a legend as if I show up with gifts every year.
I've heard people do these correlations with Christmas to go, I was whatever, but we enjoy it. And I'm like, okay, I can even deal with you purposely going forth with it, even though it's some pagan holiday and Jesus is going to burn you for it. But I understand, I understand, I like the holiday. I like enjoying the family time and all this other shit. I like the vibe. But you can correlate mentally that all of these things incorporated to make Christmas what it is, and it's not this thing that we got today. But so you wouldn't take that line of thinking with this thing that you're like, this is really Jesus' birthday. Well, who said that? Because you just did a lot of backtracking to disprove Christmas, or to not even disprove. Another thing about perspective, you're not disproving it. You're understand. Oh, this is Christmas. I want to understand the history of Christmas and where it comes from.
Right.
So this is Christianity. Maybe I want to understand that and understand where this comes from, as opposed to even simply not even taking away from the religious or spiritual aspect of it. Simply put, there's a lot of things in here that wouldn't really make sense for an omnipotent being. Why would you be vengeful? You know who is vengeful? White dudes. Really uptight, powerful white dudes who want to keep that power. They're going to probably instill in people, don't fuck with those in power. You know who's in most power? God. You don't fuck with God. And I'm going to just put in there this idea with you all that you don't fuck with the people in power. So now me, picked by God, because he said it. He wrote the book. I didn't write the book. He said that
he bestowed upon me this power. I was chosen by God to rule all of you with an iron fist.
To even don't question me. I'm doing a lot of questionable things within my rule. I'm making a lot of fucking shady statements. But you can't question me because God, bitch. Like, so shut the fuck up. Like, it's not a sin to fucking think, well, damn, like, I just said it. Now, if you got mad, I made a point. If you went, I also made a point. If you was like, nigga, we already knew that, then I love you.
Yeah, welcome. Come in, sit down, have a seat, which means you probably already listened to us anyway. You probably listen to us because we say these things. So either way, we appreciate you all. But just use the 20% that you're supposed to be using. Whatever 20% brain function that you're supposed to have, just use it. And it doesn't stop you from having a connection to God or whatever you want to identify as God as far as the higher powers are concerned, because people all over the world have a different interpretation of what God is. It doesn't stop you as an individual from having that connection, because you know what it all is? It's a choice.
Y'all are not going to tell me that, like, just because, I don't know, the fucking Dalai Lama or whatever doesn't pay tithes, like, them niggas have, like, connections. Like, they're doing shit. Like,
right.
Or fucking Hindus or whoever, whatever your fucking practice.
Mahatma Gandhi or anybody else that has contributed wonderful things to this world, and some shitty things as well too. But because you don't believe in Jesus de Cristo, you're going to burn in hell.
They move more like Jesus. Like, I'm just chilling. I only have what I fucking need. I'm not over the top with it. I don't need gold-plated shit. Fuck a car, bro. I'm down here with the people, bro. Like, I need to eat. We're going to eat together. I'm just going to kind of holy man it to the next town. Like, fuck.
That's the funny part. Within the grand scheme of being more godly, more wholesome, more in tune, more spiritually inclined with the higher powers and connected to them. If you look across the board at all the religions, Christians historically have not demonstrated that.
Literally in the top 10 things, it's like, thou shalt not kill. And then they're like, you know what'd be good? The fucking Crusades.
Historically,
we should fucking murder so many people.
Right. Historically, Christians have killed more people than fucking cigarette smoke.
the soul thing is also, once again, white dudes is on some conquer shit. Like, you need to be this. Like, bro, get the fuck out of my house. Like, I'm praying this way. Like, it doesn't stop you from praying your way either. Yeah, but fuck you, bro. I need to conquer. For God.
Yeah.
Yeah, God told me to fucking slaughter you, or to convert you guys, or whatever. And this is not saying, like, the rest of these like, men do stupid men shit, like, as a race.
Oh, because of
not talking about penises, like, I'm the race of humans.
Human beings in
There we
general.
go,
We're
'cause it's not
emotional,
even fucking-
egotistical beings. You can have a brother and sister in the same household manipulate mom and dad to get what I want and not give you what you want. You don't think that in the grand scheme of controlling large territories throughout history that somebody's ego hasn't kicked in for the same reasons? To manipulate one mindset to get what you want, not what you need, but to get what you want and to keep other people from having what they need? That has been a historical thing. It's happened many times, especially here in America, because that's kind of what created this country.
Yeah, it's literally our shit.
That's when it comes to being American, that is as American as apple pie, goddammit. It's figuring out a way to oppress somebody in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
Who the Y didn't even exist in the alphabet until modern times, but Y's and J's.
I was gonna say we're just gonna talk about Y's, like J's, fucking Luke's.
All that
like,
stuff.
Those are all European names. Like,
all
none
those
of
things did not exist until modern times.
There wasn't a Luke, Mark, or John. Like nobody had that name.
Going back to being conditioned and being uncomfortable, we know that its name, and I'm going to say it, whatever you believe it is. In that religion, we believe that its name is Yeshua. Why do we continue to call him Jesus? Goes back to what you were saying. I have this understanding that this here that I've been practicing or understanding is a lie, and now I have a new interpretation. But I don't want to walk in that. It's going to make me uncomfortable, so I'm just going to do it how I've been doing it, and I'm just going to secretly understand. That doesn't change anything.
We're going to correlate some fucking ongoing themes in this show.
Let's do it.
We're going to go back to asking why. Because if you thought what he just said, the Jesus, I know Yeshua, I know a couple of these other things,
Jehovah and all these other.
Why do I say Jesus? The thought that makes you go, don't fucking ask that question is literally conditioning. Like, that is where we like lean into it. That thought that you're like, why I don't know, you can't. Well, why? That's right there. That's where the well-placed. Well, that's literally the best place to slap a fucking why. You can't. Why? Because you don't.
Why?
Come on. Keep it. Just keep.
But why?
Keep throwing a Y on
keep
the end
throwing
of that
a Y
bitch.
on there.
Because the church told you. Well, why do they say that? Because you don't say that in the good book. Well, why does it say that in the good book? Like, that's how shit get. That's literally how any. And I don't know a bunch of shit about it, but I know a little bit about a lot. But that's how. That's literally like. Well,
if you don't know how to do some sort of work around your house, and you need some assistance, you can go to Home Depot and find somebody that's looking for work whose name will be Jesus or Jesus, whatever you want to pronounce it. I say that to say that's more of a Latin name. So how do we in America praise a name that is derived from Latin, from a religion that comes from East Africa? There's no correlation within that. But there was Latin rule, and then there was Roman rule, and then there was modern times. So somewhere along those lines, things got changed willingly.
To ask questions is wrong. Like, I'm trying to cover some shit, nigga. Like, I'm trying to. You niggas stop.
Stop digging.
Yeah.
I'm looking for gold. No, here. Look, here's a gold coin. Take the gold
thing.
coin and stop looking. Just stop digging.
I don't know if they trying to be good people in industries, or if they just be making funny or us. Because a big theme of like movies and shit would be like, oh shit, they don't want them to ask questions. You immediately know, holy fuck, those are the bad guys.
Right.
When the dude says, hey, it's above your pay grade. Hey, you better stop digging around here. And then all of a sudden, that reporter dies. Like, it's a theme of, the motherfuckers, like, there's truth behind that. Literally, you go to church, they're like, hey, man, don't question this shit. I said what I fucking said. But, like, if you were, like, you burn the house down and they're like, hey, pastor, like, I know you said that, but, like,
don't question God, boy.
Yeah, you didn't really say anything. Like, you said it loudly and you said it, like, very, like, passionately, but you didn't really like hit me with nothing. Like, you know, I'm not like, I
need to really comprehend. I need to understand this. Don't question God. But if God created all things and he created me as a being that is going to spend this entire time of existence in this life trying to understand more things, that means that I should be questioning God's creation. Not from a blasphemous standpoint, from an understanding standpoint, which goes back to my analogy of communication earlier. It's the same context when you think of communication with another being, whether written or verbal or text or whatever the case is. I'm seeking to understand. That is my purpose. That is my point for engaging in this conversation, is I'm trying to seek understanding and interpret better what your perspective is so I can use it in my own discernment and my own understanding. It's the same thing for God. I'm not questioning God to be blasphemous. I question things because I want to understand what this omnipotent being created. I don't know it all, so I have to question it to understand it.
But see, that requires that people come to, and this could go, I believe, you know, you could go into any relationship, you know, with your family, with your fucking kids,
right?
Yes, with your kids, and you're not a know-it-all just because you had them. With your fucking spouse, is that what you said? Like, I think, you know, if shit, I said we all done. I've done it. You say it sounds good. Seek to understand, but are you really? Are you asking this person this question to understand their perspective and to go, I could maybe be wrong with how I'm doing this, so let me ask you to see if you could give me your two, even if I don't agree with it. Oh, I like the fucking 8% of what you said, and I could sprinkle that on myself. But a lot of us be like saying things or asking things solely so I could, let me ask DC a question so he could say some shit and I could shit on it. Like, my whole purpose of talking to you is to fire back, and I've missed everything you just said.
Right.
And it's like, okay, if you feel, even if, once again, you know, being introspective, if you feel yourself being in that space, shit, at church or whatever, like, this talking about, take 5 seconds. Like, you should go
take a breather
somewhere and then
count
come back and talk to this motherfucker. Because you might, I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And it's okay not to know. You're not supposed to. Again, 20%. We are given this organ that runs our body 100%, right? It does all the work. It sends all the signals and synapses of everything that helps these things function. We use 20% of that. It's okay to say, I don't understand. Whether it's religion-based, whether it's your personal life, whether it's on a new job, whatever it is, it's okay to say, I don't know. Let me ask for help. Let me ask. You'll go to the doctor and ask for a second opinion on your diabetes when you know you got it because you've been eating like shit for the past 35 years. You'll seek a second opinion there, but you won't seek a second opinion anywhere else. I don't want to question this thing over here. I know that I don't know shit.
That correlates to that shit like Banner said. And I know we've said something along the lines on the show, just in the regards of like, you know, be comfortable in not knowing. Because, like, you know, once you know and you cut yourself off. Like, once I know about God, you've now stopped yourself from learning anything else. I know about, I don't know, fucking English or whatever. Like, you've stopped yourself from learning anything new.
Right.
And I was, you know, and Banner posted some shit earlier, you know, when, was it today or sometime this week? I know it was in the story. But he basically was saying, you know, you're comfortable with being lonely if your kind of goal is for betterment and you're always on this journey. Because he was like, you know, I got friends that, you know, they hit their goals in high school. I got, you know, my high school sweetheart and, you know, I got a good job at the mill or whatever. And this is all I really want. Their journey stops and you will be lonely in the sense of, well, I want more. And, you know, you met some friends in college and they had their little college thing. They, you know, got their degree and I got my good job and cool. I don't really want to chase a whatever the fuck. Like, that's cool for them. So correlating that to if you're talking about God, if you're talking about any space that you're like, I want to be better. People like, I want to grow. And shit, this is your favorite line, especially even in a relationship. This growth could take me away or this way because, you know, your fucking partner, your mom and them or whatever, like, I'm comfortable here with this version of God, of Jesus. Shit, your spouse might be comfortable with this version of God or Jesus. Now y'all in a real fucking pickle. Let alone any other aspect of your relationship. But
right.
That could be another day. But, you know, like getting comfortable with loneliness because just to correlate that to that's kind of the journey of somebody who's good with I don't know, and I'm going to continue to learn because I know I don't know shit, as opposed to it's real comfortable in the I know what I know room. You know, I know, we know together. Now we together knowing shit. Where if you're like, I got a question, well, shit, you might go have to ask that shit by yourself, my nigga. Like,
you're comfortable knowing, being blissfully ignorant. That's what it really is. Which kind of leads to my quote of the day, which won't be, I'll paraphrase it because I can't find how I wrote it earlier, but it's been in my mind all day. But essentially, it's a lot of us are happy being blissfully ignorant as opposed to taking the perspective of, I'm going to be happy with this discomfort because I know growth is going to come from it. I'm completely happy being blissfully ignorant and not challenging these thoughts that can come to my mind. I don't even want them to come to my mind because I don't even want to question the questions that I could be questioning for other shit. I don't want to question none of that. I just want to be happy and set in my ways right now. I'm completely content being blissfully ignorant as opposed to taking the perspective and saying, you know what? This shit makes me uncomfortable and I'm trying to learn more about it, but I'm going to grow from this. I'm uncomfortable now, but I enjoy that discomfort because at the other end of this discomfort is my blessing of growth and knowledge and understanding, which I need to be my best self and be a better person here in this world.
It's all about perspective.
It's all about perspective, which again, that is a choice, which is all life is. That's what religion is. That's what these holidays are. That's what all of these things are. It's a choice. It's a choice. The truth is out there. Knowledge is out there. It doesn't change who you are entirely. It's going to change you a little bit, but
it'll improve you. Like
it's not going to make you uncomfortable. Nobody's going to take you up and grab you from the pits of hell if you decide to do a Google search to find out where this shit came from. Like if you watch a YouTube video, you're not going to die and you're going to die and burn in eternal damnation or float in purgatory for eternity.
Fear-based thing too. Like the entire shit is just based in fear, which is if you motherfuckers up here talking about energy and they're going to turn around and correlate that to a thing that is just completely got people together through fear,
right?
Which is a bad energetic
I'm supposed to fear this great creator that I am also an extension of. So essentially, I fear myself.
It's just
so essentially my practice in this is rooted in self-hatred. Essentially,
now see,
if you want to deep dive into it,
somebody would say that thought process is really but that's. Same way, I don't know, man. It's like working out. Like I love using working out as like a fucking, I'm not gonna build a 6-pack or increase my bench today, but I enjoy the process. Like,
and you're still strengthening your heart. You're prolonging your longevity as far as your lifespan is concerned. There's still benefits of it. I may not get this goal, but I'm still reaching another 3 goals, which is completely fine. So do you want the 1 or the 3? It's completely up to you. So hopefully you've enjoyed our Pagan's Eve rant here today. Merry Christmas to you all.
Get you some cooking soul in your life.
Right. Enjoy the time with your family and nothing else. I don't really care what you believe. At the end of the day, I'm going to take my woke ass to my mama house and eat with her because
hug your loved ones, kiss them in the mouth. Don't be no overbearing dickhead about whatever the fuck you believe in. And don't be sorry to yourselves because we all pour out here some motherfucking pandemic.
It's a pandemic. Fuck them kids. They'll understand. You being present for their life is more important.
Teach them some shit about life.
Yes. Help them understand. That's way more important. So with that, if nobody else loves you, we love you here at Just a Dope Ass Podcast. We'll see you guys here again Saturday afternoon. Enjoy your evening. Drink some eggnog that's really just a cup full of Hennessy, whatever makes you feel good.
And you listen to this and you realize Biggie wasn't hiding any of that lick my ass shit. Like, this is rife with go and get like Cooking Soul Christmas. I mean, you get the regular song Merry Christmas, but it was a lot of ass. Christmas ass.